800-570-6630. That's 800-570-6630. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
We're live already? We can't be live already. Wow. Well,
that was close. I've never seen anybody do what you just did. That was absolutely amazing. Truly.
Good thing Ron isn't here.
I couldn't believe it.
He'd be yelling. But I am going to stand up and close the door.
No, leave it open.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Air it out in here?
Yeah.
Yeah. You referring to me? Dude, I took a bath.
Where exactly did you just come from? No, be honest, because God's listening. It's Good Friday.
I came from the potty.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Did you wash your hands?
I did.
Good.
Twice. I'm neurotic about that.
Well, that explains why you just barely made it in under the gun, man.
I didn't barely make it in. A little late than better late than never. All right, so it is Good Friday. Amen, brethren. What do you eat on Friday? Do you eat anything special on Good Friday?
I get to be hanging out with you.
So I gave up bitching for a Lent, so I can eat anything I want, right? But being it's the last day of today's last day of Lent, correct? Am I wrong, or was that when? Yeah, last day of Lent.
I don't know. I've never done Lent.
That being the case, if you do fish fry Fridays as a Catholic, well, do your fish fry. If you haven't given up beef, then you just eat your beef. But whatever you observe, slow down. Take the time to thank your servers. Thank your the cooks. Thank those that serve you in the restaurants, because you know what? It's the hardest job I've ever had. And people say, what do you mean hardest job? 32 years as a chef. What do you mean? Yes, I've had other jobs, a lot of them. As a matter of fact, I tried to get out of this industry many times. I've been a server. I've been a GM. I've been a director of operations. I've been the multi-unit operations director. I was the corporate chef. I was a chef. But before that, and in between, I was an interpreter. I was a liaison. I was a translator. I've been a technical advisor. Hell, I've been a film director. Nothing you'd really want to see. It was really terrible. But this is a really hard business. We give up our time, our family time, our free time, almost every night, holiday, and weekend. And again, as Jeff Wetzel said on Tuesday, Chef Jeff, the redneck chef, based out of Bentonville, Arkansas. Le Bouvier Chef Services, also with the new Pond to Plate podcast, which we're working on putting up here on Spoony. Be kind, be patient, and say thank you. It is, after all, Easter. We drank Rolling Rock. We drank Rolling Rock. We drank Rolling Rock, as a matter of fact, on purpose, next door at the other studio, our sister channel, Mojo 50, on Matt Locke's show on Beer for Breakfast Friday, because Rolling Rock, it's symbolic. Rolling Rock for me is symbolic because in college, when I was of age, that was kind of the inexpensive beer I could buy in Arizona or wherever I would have been. That and Mickey's Big Mouth. But it's a good time to say thank you. Be appreciative, slow down, enjoy your family. One bite at a time. Not your family, but your food. Yeah. What are you shaking your head for, dude? I'm not saying like you're Jeffrey Dahmer.
Right.
Although, yeah, there's a little resemblance there. Especially the fedora.
You don't pause very well is what I'm shaking my head about.
Dude, you know what? I don't even drink caffeine. I don't.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I do like every 3 or 4 days, and then I regret it. I'll have 1 cup because I'm sweating, running around the studio. I'm like, hey, let's burn the place down. Let's run. Let's go. Let's do something.
But see, that wouldn't happen to you if you consumed it more often. I'm just saying. It's kind of like a tolerance thing.
No, it's not. Because in college, I used to drink coffee. Actually, I'd take 2 or 3 No-Dos or Vivarin, chased with coffee, a pot of coffee, stay up all night. But it might have been when I started my career in the early 80s, and the overconsumption of such substances may have had a hand in that. So I'm very sensitive to any kind of stimulant. I can't even have like a lot of ginseng in a health drink or energy drink. It makes me really jittery, a little shaky. Caffeine, especially synthetic caffeine that's in these Oh, you have Rockstar Energy Drink, and I'm not knocking these guys. It's a huge niche market. It's a pretty close to $1 billion a year industry, which I don't get any money from, so I'm not going to consume. But that synthetic caffeine really hits me. You've seen me on 1 cup coffee.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I was wiping my brow for like the whole first 40 minutes.
Yeah, but it was probably the best radio show you'd ever done.
Actually, it wasn't, but that first half hour was rough. The second, third, and fourth segments were great. And really, the fourth one was really fun.
Yeah. What segment are we in right now? What are we calling this?
You know what? We are in course 1, which would be the appetizer or hors d'oeuvre segment.
And those are usually done to be able to kind of make your mouth wet, sort of prepare the palate.
Yeah,
get ready
we call
for
it
the
amuse-bouche in French, to amuse the mouth, to make you happy, to excite your palate. So there's a great restaurant in Chicago called True, T-R-U. Their entire menu was based on these very small courses. Probably one of the most inventive restaurants ever in the existence of the U.S. Amazing food, great talent. Too bad they're gone now, but the chef went on to open a steakhouse, kind of a steak and chop house. But man, you could have 7, 8, 10 courses of just 1 or 1.5 bites each. Amuse-bouche radio. Oh, amuse-bouche radio. There we go. Not amuse-douche, not amuse-bouche, not bougie, as our co-host at the other place used to say. Someone's co-host. Amuse-bouche, to amuse the mouth. That's kind of good. Actually, what if you could amuse the brain? I don't know how to say brain in French, but one of the reasons I started this entire platform, this venture, it wasn't to have this big multinational conglomerate of broadcasting. I didn't care about that. I just wanted to share my passion about food, sharing that with your family, your loved ones, inspiring people to want to cook. Even if you've never cooked before, if you only make 5 dishes, I don't care how bad you suck at cooking. I want to help you to try and aspire to do better to yourself and others. That's it. That's all I want to do. I want people to try new foods, new flavors, new cultural. I grew up in a, I don't want to say a culturally diverse family because we weren't really that culturally diverse, but the menu that we ate when I grew up, I was fortunate. We lived in upstate New York. My grandfather had a huge dairy farm, about 100 head of cattle any time, 50 acres of, varying vegetables by season, but he had about I don't know how many, maybe 400 to 500 acres of hay. But growing up as a young man on his farm, my dad had an acre garden, or maybe 1 to 2 acres, that every year the produce alternated because we canned everything left at the end of summer. And I want to share that. I mean, I didn't know it. I thought that I grew up poor on a farm in upstate New York, but I didn't. I was being groomed to have an exceptional palate because I had things that no one else gets to eat on a regular basis. We had ramps that grew wild. We call them weeds. Ramps are like this flat chive-like onion with a little bit of garlic, a hint of garlic to it. They're only available like 2 weeks a year. Chefs pay $40 to $60 a pound, and most of them rot in your refrigerator because you can't sell them. I grew up eating those. I'm going to go pick some roots and weeds. Okay. So roots. We had weeds and roots. Roots are Jerusalem artichokes, sunchokes. It looks like ginger. It grows in the ground. It's got this very thin, pale skin, but it's got a potato-like starchy, undertone to it. It's basically like a potato, but super starchy. And I grew up eating that stuff. I was groomed from birth to learn about food and then tell people about it. I mean, I love cooking, probably more than anything in the world. I would, except my children, because they're pretty exceptional. But even more than eating, I love to cook because you know why? When you put something on a plate, someone sits down, says thank you, takes a bite and says, holy crap, thank you a lot. Even if they don't say it, they just smile and say, wow, that was different. I've never tried that. That was really good. Thank you. Or you know what? You taught me something. I would have never tried that before. That's inspirational. That's what I love. That's what I like to share, and that's the whole reason behind this. It wasn't about fame or attention or anything. I want to share my passion for what I do. I was a chef for a long time, 30 plus years. I'm still a chef. you can only affect so many people that way. I transitioned from being a restaurant operating chef to being a corporate chef, then to into consulting for about 10 years, where I was still opening restaurants, 40 plus, 500 restaurant projects I was directly involved in, 12 to 1,300 that I've been not just directly involved in, but I managed, written the business plan for, whatever, involved in some way, shape, or form. I still couldn't affect as many people as I do speaking on the radio and share my passion for food. And what's cool about that is, yes, we have a Facebook Live portion of this. There's an aspect to this. And if you have not ever watched it, you need to go to Spoony Radio on Facebook.com or Facebook, whatever the hell the page is. Go there, or you can go to, it's the only place you can see the video for now. But when you start next week, we're going to do some really cool short form content where I can really share the details of what it takes to understand not just the culinary industry, not the ingredients, but the tools of the trade. And again, on Tuesday next week, we're going to start with, I've bought 14 knives in my bag, 13 knives, something like that. We're not going to take all those. We're going to take out the core components, the core tools needed, those essentials needed for any type of kitchen production from a knife perspective. And you really only need 3 knives in your kitchen. You need a chef's knife, you should have a cleaver, and you need a paring knife. You need nothing more. Maybe a serrated. Maybe a serrated. Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, first off, what does the chef's knife look like?
Okay, so
yeah, I mean,
so,
can you?
Yeah, so I wasn't going to get those next week, but let's do it now. We'll go through the most. And hey, it's Casual Friday, so it's a V-neck T-shirt for me. No chef coat. That may have had something to do with a beer for breakfast Friday with Matt, but I'm not going to reveal that. So
okay,
my nipples
just keep that between me and
my
you.
nipples look better than that.
I'm not thinking you should stop.
So here's the deal. Yeah,
the chef's knife.
Yeah,
go.
What? Mute, Jeff. Mute. I love you. No, just joking. Jeff, by the way, just joined us recently. He came from another format where we met a couple of years ago. Many years, like 3 decades in the industry, a little 3 decades plus, right?
Right.
And what a great mentor. And he's helping me work through some things to refine the content and make this really fun for the listener and the viewer. But here's the gist. The shape of the knife determines the functionality. And by shape of the knife, I mean the shape of the blade as far as curvature from the back end, the hilt of the knife, the ass end to the tip. Whether it's straight, curved, the arc of the curve, how high the blade is, that all plays a very strong role in how the knife is used. So you have a few. Paring knives, the smallest of most utility knives. I can't think of anything smaller. There are some very special knives, but nobody needs them for home use, and even for most restaurant use. A paring knife is typically a 3 to 5 inch blade. It's very thin as far as top to bottom. It's not tall, and it is not. It's typically very sharp, and the handle is just big enough to fit in your hand. It's a very precise. We'll call it the scalpel of knives, right? It's the scalpel of knives. That's really what you need to know. Oh, I need to add one more in there, by the way. So we're going to go to the next knife would be a what we call a boning knife or a deboning knife, and that's a butcher's tool or a chef's tool, a cook's tool, maybe a home chef's tool that you use. It's very flexible and it has a regular chef's knife handle, a little smaller in diameter, so you have a very firm grip on it. So it's going to be a 4-inch handle, maybe diameter, maybe 1.25 inches across. But the blade is going to be very, very narrow, top to bottom. It's not tall, and it's going to be very flexible. And what that's used for, it's like 6 to 8 inches long. That's used for separating the protein, the meat, the flesh, from the bone. Whether that's whether it's a pork product, chicken product, whether it's cattle, beef, whether it's some sort of seafood item, fish specifically. When you need a flexible knife that can follow the curvature of the bone, because most bones in the animal, just like in the human body, are not perfectly straight, you need something that can flex along those lines, but while you're putting pressure on it, not cut through the bone to separate very cleanly the flesh from the non-edible. So that's what a boning knife is. You probably have one in your kitchen, knife block that you don't know what it is. It's like a paring knife on steroids. A paring knife's 3 to 5 inches, typically 2.5 to 3. This is like a 7 or 8 inch long blade on the same handle of a paring knife. Now, the next is the chef's knife. The chef's knife is used as a utility knife, but it can be used for slicing, dicing, chopping, so on and so forth. The big difference here is that this has a very steep curvature to the blade. So the top of the blade is straight. It should be very straight, as a matter of fact, perfectly straight. But at the back of the blade, where it attaches to the handle, it's called the tang. There should be a very thick part there. That thick part is called the tang, and that's it's thick for a reason. When you go to the bottom of the blade, from there, it gets thin again. But it's very strong at the back of the blade, and so that's used for cracking shells or bones or things like that. So you can break apart lobster shells. You can separate bones at the joint when you need to, chop on something to break it apart. That's what it's called, the hilt, right? Where the tang is actually the part that goes between the handle. The hilt is the back of the blade, and typically if you buy a more expensive knife, not like $300 or $400, but something like a Henkel or a Wüsthof knife in the $80 to $120 range, those have a very thick hilt at the back, and that is very important for utility. Here's the difference. Like I said, it has a rocking motion. This is used for not slicing, but more of dicing, anything that you use rocking motion for. It's very important that this knife not be dropped on the cutting board straight up and down with the blade flat. The knife is rocked from tip to hilt, right, from tip to back, front to back, over and over to create the cut you want. The last one you really need, and this varies by culture, but most people recognize the utility knife, the big, bulky, the badass of the knife family, as the cleaver. And the Chinese cleaver is probably the biggest, baddest, bulkiest of them all. Japanese cleavers, they're very heavy. I mean, the Chinese cleavers are big, heavy steel cleavers with a wooden handle, typically. The Japanese cleaver is a little different. There are two types of Japanese cleavers. They have one that's a big, heavy cleaver like you would think in Chinese food. But talking about the shape, this is a rectangle. The blade is a rectangle, and it's got the same size handle as a chef's knife. But the top of this blade is very thick. I mean, sometimes 3/4 of an inch thick. And then the bottom is very thin. It's the same width, the same sharpness as any other knife. But the reason is you need the weight behind that knife to, say, if you're going to cut a chicken into eight pieces in 14 seconds or 8 seconds, that's the knife I want to use, because it's typically a very hard, very thick, very heavy steel that has a flat edge on it. So it's a straight down chopping motion. The only other knife I can think of, really, that's really used in almost, I wouldn't say most kitchens in the United States today, but frequently, there's something called a usuba. Okay, this is a knife that has the same style blade as a similar style blade as a cleaver. It's a rectangular blade. It's typically not as tall. It's not like 5 or 6 inches tall. This is a 2 or 3 inch tall blade. If you rested it with the tip of the blade, the sharp edge of the blade resting on the cutting board, and you measured to the top, it's 2 to 3 inches. This is for cutting things. This is for slicing directly through with a flat blade straight to the cutting board to make very thin slices. So if you've ever been to a Japanese restaurant and they have daikon radish, this white radish that nobody ever eats, it's just garnished on the side of the plate, but it's actually very tasty, except it smells like feet unless you rinse it for a couple hours. The way that they make that is if you took a 3-inch tall section of daikon radish. So if you think of a radish, it's a little round bulb that grows in the ground. Well, daikon radish is not that way. Daikon radish is a 1 foot long radish that grows like a carrot, that has a diameter at the top where the fat part is, right? The largest diameter at the top is 2 to 4 inches across, and it tapers down to 1 or 2 inches at the bottom. You can buy them at almost any grocery store, and if you haven't seen one, well, get out and go to your grocery store. It's that simple. I'm not admonishing you nor your culinary prowess or your purchasing skills, but go look. I mean, it's fun to look. If you have a place like Central Market in Texas, go out and look at the variety of vegetables available. So if you take that and you cut that into like a 3 or 4 inch length, and you peel the skin off, but you don't peel the skin off with a peeler. You take this usuba, right? This knife, this Japanese utility knife, that has a very flat blade. It's like a very thin cleaver, and you start to peel first the skin off all at one time, top to bottom. So you're going around this radish from top to bottom, using most of the length of the blade, and you're peeling it all in one slice. Once that's done, you continue to shave that radish in a manner that's, you basically get sheets, a long, continuous sheet of radish that's 3 inches tall and so thin that you can see the blade of the knife through it. And it's a very special technique. You actually don't push the knife forward. You push the knife up and down. It takes forever to learn, but that's how you get this very thin, shredded daikon, this a Japanese radish that's used as garnish in Japanese food and some other cultures. But so those are really the major styles of knife. There's sashimi knives, sushi knives. There's a special knife that's used for sushi, just for octopus, takoyaki. But ultimately, those 4 or 5 knives, that will get you through any situation in the kitchen. And they're almost all stainless steel, which is great. Because when you get into this really fancy stuff, like Japanese knives, they have this high carbon content steel, which is fine. Because what that allows you to do is to sharpen the knife very, very, very finely. It has a super thin blade, and it's very sharp. I mean, I saw an entire blade go through a gentleman's arm one time. He was walking by, his chef coat caught this. I was working in a Japanese restaurant in Denver. He was walking by the owner's cutting, his station, his prep station. His jacket caught the cutting board, which every chef have these risers that the cutting board sits on to lift them to the appropriate height, because it's very important ergonomically to work at the right height. Everybody has their own blocks. They're wrapped in napkin, basic paper, linen napkins to prevent the board from slipping. He went by. His jacket caught the knife. The board fell off. There was this big fish. It was big tuna on there, 60 pounds of fish. He tried to catch the fish, but the knife actually went all the way. The blade went through his forearm and out the other side. Crazy. That's how sharp it is. So it's got this very soft steel. The problem with soft steel and high carbon is that it oxidizes very quickly and it tends to rust. So you can buy stainless steel sushi knives. They're really hard to sharpen. And on the other hand, the easy to sharpen knives are very hard to maintain. So again, all right, there's Knives 101. We will do a visual next week. It will air on Tuesday. A little bit here on Facebook, but you can listen to it, I'm sure. Well, you won't be able to listen. No, you're going to have to tune in to either the Facebook, Spoony Radio Facebook page, or to the Spoony Radio YouTube page to get the full content. And that'll air next Tuesday, which I don't know the date. What is next week? 25th, 7th?
Today's the 19th.
Oh, there you go. So, 4 days from now.
4 days from now?
23rd.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can do simple math. Double plus single digits, I can do. Don't go any further, please, dude. That's why I'm a chef. Anyway, that's the kind of broad overview of knives. But hold on to your hats, because in about 4 minutes, we're going to have the Jelly Queen, Miss Donna, right here from they're right here local in the DFW Metroplex. Her husband is the Spice King. Donna is the Jelly Queen. Actually, they're huge sponsors of the WFC, and they take a lot of product. WFC, by the way, is the World Food Championship, founded by Mike McLeod. And he'll be on the radio here, I think, a week from next Tuesday, right here in studio. A lot of fun stuff. They have 2,000 events leading to one big championship opportunity for 10 different categories, starting in October of this year. The final table event takes all those champions, pairs them against each other for 5 days of cooking in 10 different categories. That takes place for this year in New Orleans. As a matter of fact, in about 2.5 weeks. So Mike will be in next week. In the meantime, we'll have one of their sponsors, the Jelly Queen, Ms. Donna, in-house with some fresh biscuits, jelly, and who knows what else. Stay tuned because course 2 is coming up. We have the appetizer, salad or soup course coming up. Well, we're going to scratch that. No salad or soup. Biscuits and jelly. It's Biscuits and Jelly Friday. Come back.
Follow Chef Patrick Mosher on Twitter @Food Biz Pro. If you are trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252.
It looks like you're losing.
I am.
Are you losing weight?
I am losing. I've lost about 10 pounds.
How are you doing it?
Funny name, but I've done it with Riduzone. RIDUzone.com, and the stuff works. It's, you get into all that, the molecule this and the found in that. All I can tell you is it makes you feel full, and it keeps your mind off of wanting to overeat.
And also boosts your metabolism,
Yes,
so you're
it does.
burning more.
Yeah, it does.
Try it today. It's going to work for you like it's worked for Brad and countless other people. Riduzone.com. RIDUzone.com.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
Again in the nick of time. Biscuits and Jelly Friday's getting more and more complicated. Yeah, Donna says she's now caught up in an accident. She's 10 minutes away. The whole fresh biscuit thing, can it come in at 1:30? I'm teasing. We'll have some really yummy treats and eats in a few minutes, within the 15 minutes here, halfway through this segment. But it is Friday. So what do we talk about on Fridays? Well, we talk about several things. During the dessert course today, it will not be dessert, as always on Friday. It's actually Mixed Metaphors. Cheryl Rich Heisler will call in, and she'll give us what are we drinking Friday, as well as answer the question, what are we drinking Saturday? And if you don't know who she is, Cheryl Heisler, she has this great company called mixedmetaphors.com, which if you're a linguist, cunning or not, great play on words instead of mixed metaphors. She custom creates drinks for your party, your friends, your family. If you have a family gathering for a holiday, you're having a birthday party, she'll custom create drinks either for one of several things. The holiday, to meet the season, the theme. She'll even custom create a drink for to match your menu, as well as if you're an avid listener of Spoony, then we lost a partner recently, and after his passing, she custom created a drink for Doc Thompson. It was called Doc's The Man's Manhattan, which was not just a Manhattan. It was a Manhattan on steroids. It was a Manhattan with extra bitters. We added this great pomegranate liqueur, and then it was chased every sip with a bit of really nice champagne. Doesn't get classier than that. So that's Cheryl Heisler at mixedmetaphors.com. She'll be on at the bottom of the second hour, which on the East Coast is, I believe, 3:30. That's 2:30 local time. In the meantime, we are waiting for Miss Donna to get here from the Jelly Queens. But you know what? I'm sure there's some really interesting food news out there because it is Easter weekend. And let's find out what in the world is happening today. Oh, let's see. You know what I didn't do? I apologize to all the listeners. I did not put up the asparagus fries recipe from yesterday. I have it ready to go. I will. But, let's see what this is. from Fast Company. Whole Foods artisanal arsenic. Okay, I don't think arsenic fits into food. I know it's found in the seeds of an apple, but let's see what this has to do. Oh, and I need to follow up on another story about the guy who he gave up everything except beer for Lent. And yes, it was kind of a ploy because he works for the company. He's actually the director of marketing and sales for the company he's drinking the beer of. But, report bottled water made by Whole Foods and Dr. Pepper has unsafe amounts of arsenic. Man, just when you thought you could trust Whole Foods and the brands they represent or generate or bottle that they license themselves, Consumer Reports has released the result of an investigation into arsenic levels in popular brands of bottled water, and that report found that 11 out of 130 brands had detectable amounts of arsenic in them, making them potentially hazardous to drink over. Okay, but here's the deal. What are detectable levels of arsenic? Because there's arsenic in an apple seed. And I'm telling you, as a child, well, it could be what's wrong with me. As a child, I ate the whole apple. I ate the flesh on the outside, then I would eat the core, and yeah, whatever happened after that happened. But I'm just saying, and by the way, we had our own apple trees. We had two red Roma apples trees. We had one yellow, two Golden Delicious apple trees. We had one crab apple tree, three crab apple trees. We had, there was another one, Jonathan apples, which you don't find down here because they produce for about a week that are ripe per year, maybe 2 weeks. Very short season. You see Jonah Golds here. It's a Jonathan and a golden apple blend or cross pollination. But I can tell you, I've probably eaten 1,000 apple seeds in my life. I'm not dead yet. So, I mean, does every article have to be a panic report? Does it frighten the hell out of you so you don't buy anything anymore? I was just reading, actually I had this very interesting article sent to me. I want to read this to you. So we talk about bacon all the time. Yes, you all saw the coming out of Chef Patrick Mosher yesterday, the Food Biz Pro. I am not anti-bacon. I wore the damn pig shirt, okay? Bacon was big and bold on the belly. Don't even comment. Don't even comment, Jeff. I love you. Don't even comment. Look, here's the deal. They were saying yesterday, I read this report that said even a half an ounce to 3/4 of an ounce, one time consuming a half an ounce of bacon increased your risk of it was colon cancer. And I'm not making light of this. My sister was just diagnosed cancer free after surgery last year. As a matter of fact, she was diagnosed while I was at the National Restaurant Association show about May 15th last year in Chicago. I shared that with our partners. Doc was there. Adam Rich was there, and Brad Stagg, so on and so forth. All of our partners here. I shared that with them that day. I'm not making light of this, but is there nothing we can eat anymore? I mean, I just read a report that said that whether the bacon is cured or uncured, naturally or unnaturally, chemically or not, that you can't eat it because the sulfites then become sulfates or sulfates become sulfites. I don't really care which way it goes. You can't eat bacon or any sort of deli meat. If I can't eat mortadella, if I can't eat, I'll tell you what, capicola, that spicy roll. Oh, man. If I can't eat capicola, take me now. It's Good Friday. Take me now. If I cannot eat food that I like to eat, why the hell does it taste so good? What is the point? I've been vegan. I've been pescatarian. I've been a lacto-ovo-vegetarian. You name it. I've done every variation of every diet you can ever think of. Keto. I was a vegetarian zone chef. If you don't know what the zone diet is by Dr. Sears, go back and look up. It's the original version of the keto diet. You had a protein supplement at every meal, very low carbs. If carbs, really high complex carbohydrates. I've done it all, man. I've tried it all. What can I eat? As a matter of fact, I had this story in Tennessee. The state representative of Tennessee, state senator, a physician, said that he wanted to make it illegal, which they passed, to make it illegal to drink milk from a cow that you own or a sheep that you own. So no longer can you not only not buy the cow and get the milk for free, you can't even buy the damn cow and drink the milk. Where does this end? I mean, I want one conclusive study. One conclusive study that tells me you should or should not eat this. Just one. Because you know what? After I read all that stuff last week and the week before and the week before and today, I had read another study that said if you don't eat enough sulfites, which, by the way, help with blood pressure, reducing it, and so on and so forth, what can you eat? So here's the funny thing. The story out of Tennessee, the state senator, and look, this is not anger, Patrick. This is passionate, Patrick. There's a difference. Because, again, I told you that I want to share my passion for what I do with you, and I want you to share that with other people that you care about. I care about every listener, whether you agree with me or disagree. And you know what? I should be on Facebook looking at comments. But I want everybody to understand everything in moderation. If you eat 1/3 of an ounce of bacon, you're telling me that now exponentially increases your risk of cancer? I can't buy that. You know how many toxins are in the air we breathe, the soil we walk on, the water we drink? The artificial, wow, what's the stuff they put on your teeth to keep them strong? What's that stuff called? Fluoride that they put in the water? You know, they don't have that in Europe for a reason because it causes other health concerns. Why do you think the British teeth are not so pretty? Just saying. Most countries in Germany and in Europe don't have fluoride in the water. Where do we stop? The concern in Tennessee, and I want to talk more about something I know about than these chemical concerns with cured meats and bacon specifically. The concern in Tennessee with the state legislature, this senator, was that if you drink milk from a cow that is not pasteurized, even if you own it, you're a 4-person, you could be a single individual that has one cow on 1/2 acre in the state of Tennessee, and you could drink the raw milk unpasteurized, and they believe that there could be a chance of E. coli spreading. Well, okay. I could have 400 head of cattle next to my personal garden of romaine and other lettuces and other things I can eat raw, which can be contaminated with E. coli because they poop and pee on the ground and the runoff water goes over the vegetables, but I can't drink the milk from the cow. I mean, I can't even trust these big farmers in California. And yes, I've ranted about this before, and I'm not ranting. I'm sorry. But where do we stop with the legislation? Where do we stop with the false reporting? This panic. We're a panic-stricken society. We are. Everything we read is a soundbite, a visual soundbite. Yes, it's not audible, but it is. It's a soundbite meant to hit your soul. Strike some hot button in your current day culture that will coerce you to change your mind about some item that you're consuming. Why? What's the point? Anyway, it's Good Friday. What are we going to eat this weekend? Is it ham? I don't know. Ham's cured. I can't eat ham anymore. I can have some wild rice from Minnesota. We can have wild rice. I have not ever seen a negative report on wild rice from Minnesota. I think we revolved the entire meal around wild rice from Minnestalgia. Better known, you can go to actually SpoonyWildRice.com. I don't know what the product discount code is right now, but I'm sure there is one. If you call them, email them, or you email me off the air, I will tell you, or Matt Locke will come over and tell me in a few minutes because I wrote it down, but I didn't bring my notepad in. Don't laugh at me, Jeff. Don't even look at me. I'm just saying. I love you. Don't do it. Minnestalgia wild rice, they have some amazing products. It's not just wild rice. They have beer jellies, whipped honey. And when there's whipped honey, they have infused whipped honeys, flavored. They have this great, they actually make maple syrup and the maple sugar up there, which as a child growing up in upstate New York and New York City, traveling all the time just right across the border to Vermont, every time we had to stop and buy like a little maple leaf shaped big chunk of maple sugar candy, if I could speak English. It's delicious. It's sickeningly sweet to me as an adult now when you eat the candy, but the maple sugar syrup it's just a hint of maple in a raw sugar material. It's just bound. It's really delicious. It's a great addition to coffee. They've been in business 30 years. They've been busting their butts, just like everybody, trying to build something here. They do a great job. They were one of our first, I believe they were our first sponsor, not just on this show, but on both platforms. And you can go to SpoonyWildRice.com. Jay and Laura are great people. And if you've seen the show at all, you followed, we've made some of their wonderful products on air. Matter of fact, one of the best dishes I made was their chicken and waffles. Well, I made their waffles. What I did is I put chicken inside the waffle. So they have this great dish. It's a polenta side dish, which is not plain wild rice or wild rice flour. It's crushed wild rice that has different seasonings. Some have portobello mushroom. They used to have a porcini mushroom. But you make the side dish, and then you let it cool. Whatever you have left over, the next day you make for breakfast, and you make waffles from it. And it can be savory or sweet, whichever you want. What I did, instead of making traditional fried chicken and waffles, I actually took the waffles, made the batter, and very simple. You'd add an egg, a little bit of flour, and a little bit of baking soda, or baking powder, rather. A little bit of sugar if you want, salt, pepper. I took the chicken, shredded it off the bone. It was a chicken leftover from the night before, roast chicken. Added it to the mix and actually baked it. I made it in the waffle iron inside the waffle. It was awesome. I actually put a fried egg on top. And you know what was really good? I took some Cholula, which is my favorite hot sauce. Okay, second favorite, because I didn't have the other favorite. But I put a fried egg on top of that and drizzled the whole thing with some maple syrup. Damn, spicy, sweet, savory. The texture from the chicken, the whole grain flour, and the egg on top, a little, the creamy yolk on it. It was awesome. Oh, speaking of that, all right. While SpoonyWildRice.com. I don't know what the product discount code is, but if you contact us, we'll let you know. Matt Locke, where are you? He's supposed to save my ass on this one. So anyway, but we talked yesterday about, you had said something about eggs over easy, and you don't have to answer, but there's an easy way. And I've talked about this a little bit before. You can do eggs over easy or eggs sunny side up without any runniness to the white. And it's super simple. I talked about Teflon yesterday. I love Teflon pans because they were super easy to use. They basically made my job as a chef or home cook, I don't want to say flawless, perfect, but pretty darn close. Because you need that nonstick surface, or it makes it much easier to cook an egg over easy or sunny side up without breaking the yolk. And the key is this. So I don't like to have to flip eggs. Jeff had talked yesterday about having this giant spatula to flip eggs, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, that's fine, but you don't need it. And here's how you do it. You take your egg and, well, you set it aside to begin with. You heat your pan to about medium. You don't want the pan too hot. If it's too hot, what happens is the egg browns on the bottom. Egg whites should always be white. Egg yolk should always be yellow. Nothing in between. Golden brown, in this case, as a chef's favorite color, does not apply. You break the egg into this pan over medium-low heat. It starts to cook. You see you have a little olive oil, spray oil, whatever, canola oil, whatever oil you use to cook. Once the protein, that white protein from the white, the egg protein starts to turn white. It's I think it's called albumin, actually. It starts to turn white and not translucent anymore. Then you let it go a few more seconds until it's about 2/3 of the way cooked through from the bottom to the top. The egg yolk should still be kind of surrounded by this gelatinous white gunk. Yes, I said white gunk. You don't need to eat it, but here's what you do. If you at that point take a little, I season it at that point. A little salt, a little pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, whatever you want. Take a little bit of water. I don't know, an ounce. That's 2 tablespoons. Put it in the pan. Put a lid on it, preferably a glass lid, and you let it steam. And what it does is it steams the top of the egg while it's cooking the bottom of the egg, and you get this great uncooked yolk where all of the white gooey protein that nobody likes, that egg white when it's runny, nobody likes that. That gets cooked completely through. It's super simple. It takes less than a minute. And it's really good. You get again, you don't have to do over easy. And as far as sunny side up, it's sunny side up. It just has no uncooked whites around it, because that's the thing that people don't like about sunny side up eggs, is that the white around the egg yolk is too runny. It's like gelatin. No, for me, I'm okay. I have kind of a cast iron stomach when it comes to the texture of foods or the smell of whatever, food. Simple way, super easy. Jeff looks not so astounded. Are you not surprised by that? Is that not useful? Do you want to take my job?
No.
I'm joking.
No, whatever you have is fine. I think my big spatula is the key to everything.
Did you bring it in?
No, I forgot.
That's okay. We'll do it Tuesday. Okay.
Yeah, we'll do it Tuesday. But no, seriously, I mean, I appreciate the food tip there. I'll go home and try it. I think that's a wonderful idea.
Yeah,
I would have never thought of that. It's almost like doing a poached egg, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're just steaming the top. It's pretty straightforward. It's not some unknown technique. I think just the application is super simple and pretty easy. And so if you have those children that want to run a yolk but no whites, and you don't know how to cook the white without overcooking the yolk, it's a super simple way to do that. Anyway, all right, we're still waiting for Miss Donna from the Jelly Queens to get here. She's probably here in a second. She was about 10 minutes away. She'll be here in a few minutes. Here's the cool thing. If you've ever heard of the WFC, the World Food Championship, founded by Mike McLeod about 7 or 8 years ago, look them up, do your research, check it out. I mean, Donna did not, I don't think she's participated. She may have participated, but I don't think so. She was on another show, another Food Network show or a Food Challenge show, and won and got a great reputation and amazing products. But here's the cool thing. If you go to as a matter of fact, in October this year, they're going to be here in town. The World Food Championship, this is like 500 competitors over 6 days of cooking. That's going to pare it down to 10 champions in 10 different categories. And then they all compete against each other at the final table event later on that year, which this year is actually coming up next month in, I think it's May, mid-May sometime, early May, actually, early 6th, 7th, 8th sometime down in New Orleans, which I'm not going to be able to attend. But when October rolls around, you bet your buns I will be at this event. But the cool thing is that Donna walks around with fresh, hot-baked biscuits and jelly every morning of the event for free for all of the participants. I mean, you have between 500 and 600 participants, all free. It's awesome. She's been a great sponsor of the event. As a matter of fact, on May 5th, if you happen to be in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, there's going to be an event it's a pie cooking contest. I will be one of the judges, along with one of our show hosts, Randy White, who hosts Into the Fire on Monday afternoons. He also will not have a live show on Monday because it's Easter weekend. He'll be with his family. It's going to be a lot of fun. And if you happen to be in the area, they have the day before there is the Roanoke Ribeye Roundup, which I believe, slated to participate in. It is a ribeye cook-off. I think I need to call my buddy Joe Wilson. If you're listening, man, give me a shout sometime this afternoon because I need a few tips on cooking ribeye. Not really, but no, not really. Just call me. Joe. Oh, wait. We have some. Joe, if you don't know Joe Wilson, he's called into the show several times. And one of the latest time he called in, Randy White was sitting in the chair across from me. And Joe hosts, produces, and is the MC for the World Squirrel Championship. The World Squirrel Cook-Off. It's the world. It's the cook-off for the champion of the world of squirrel cooking. That's what it is. All right. He's based out of Bentonville, Arkansas. I used to work up there. I reopened a restaurant for some people. I had a seafood market and restaurant that I was a partner in. Joe approached me and said, hey, you should really cook. You should come in and cook make something unique, right? Something we've never seen before. And so we had about 35, 37 teams. And the dish was great. I actually did 5-spice squirrel sushi hand roll. Interestingly enough. No, sushi. That did not mean raw squirrel with 5-spice seasoning on it. Sushi does not mean squirrel. Doesn't mean anything raw. It means nothing raw. Sushi means vinegared rice. That's all it means. You can put eggplant, you can put chicken, you can put beef, you can put lobster. You can do a surf and turf roll with beef on the inside and lobster on the top, or lobster on the inside, beef on the top. Anything that's encased in, rolled up in, or on top of that tops vinegared rice is sushi. So anyway, I participated. I didn't win, which I'm kind of shocked at because it was damn good, by the way. I didn't just make the sushi hand roll. I made these shumai dumplings. You know what shumai are? Well, he's shaking his head. So shumai, there's like 57 types of dumpling, right? So shumai are these dumplings. If you've ever had Chinese dumplings, you've been to a dim sum restaurant, which is where you have these small bites, small plates that they roll this cart by your table, and you point at what you want. And the reason I say you point at what you want because you don't know what it is most of the time. Sometimes it's chicken feet that have been boiled or steamed, and they're soaked in a sweet soy sauce and a dipping sauce. And chicken feet are not all they're made out to be. I'm just telling you, I've eaten them several times. Kind of gelatinous, a lot of bone. Not really my favorite, but one of my favorites is shumai dumplings. And shumai are these straight-sided, cylindrical dumpling with an open top that have a little pea stuck in the top, typically. The way I made them, they're typically pork dumplings with some ginger and lemongrass and things like that. I took ginger, lemongrass, garlic, black pepper, red pepper. I grated everything together. I had about 8% pork and the rest ground squirrel. And I made my own wrappers for this. So instead of using the standard wonton wrappers you buy at the store, I actually made my own. And I made this, and I stuck a little pea in the top, of course, which is traditional for Chinese cooking. We steamed them. And then I served them with a 5 basil citrus soy dipping sauce. One of the judges, who was actually part of, I think it was ABC, covered this event, said it was the best bite of food he had all day. For me, that was a big deal, although I didn't win because one judge gave me a 0 because they don't eat sushi because they think it's raw fish, which means they don't like it. Of course, they were 74 years old. I'm just messing with you. But they didn't eat sushi, right? So I got a 0. But out of 34 teams, I scored like 17. That's not bad. But Joe is coming down here. Joe Wilson of the World Championship Squirrel Cook-Off, World Champion Squirrel Cook-Off. He'll be down here, I think it's around June 2nd or 3rd. There's this... I think it's the most popular and most famous radio show in Australia. This team are coming up here. These two gentlemen who've been friends for like 25 years on the radio. They're filming these unique experiences, especially food experiences around the world, and they want him to cook of all things because he is the prophet of the chicken of the tree, limb chicken. I don't know what else you call squirrel, but they want him to cook squirrel brains because back in the day when you had to eat animal head to tail, or, tusk to trotter, you ate squirrel brain. And so he is going to be cooking here on television. It's going to be filmed, squirrel brains. We've tried, I found a couple locations that weren't quite what they wanted, so we're still searching, but tune in about that time, because when he comes to town, I'll be doing some Facebook Live stuff with Joe. Joe's a good friend of mine, and it should be really fun. He typically wears a... kind of like, it's a striped jacket, a lot like We Want You.
Prison?
No, Sam. Uncle Sam, like Uncle Sam would wear. But he wears the pants to match, not just the jacket, right?
Okay.
And so, you know what's really funny? I have video of him. So Joe's kind of a country cooking badass. He does a lot of really great cookouts for first responders all over the country. The guy really does a lot for charity, and feeding people that are necessary for the safety of just for us in general as residents of this country. But we went. He and his wife took me to this amazing concert, and I say amazing for a few reasons. It was really fun. They took me to Missouri to a resort. It was one of those. Casino resorts in Missouri, and there were 2 bands playing. The opening band was let's say the headliner was Casey and the Sunshine Band, and the opening band though, the Village People. And can I tell you, I have video of Joe doing the YMCA, which you will not believe. It was probably one of the most fun afternoon evenings of my life, and that right there is priceless. So, hey, we got about a minute and a half left before we go to break. Shara Heisler of Mixed Metaphors will be calling in about 35 minutes. In the meantime, though, hold on to your seats because Donna, better known as the Jelly Queen herself, will be in-house. We're going to have some fresh baked biscuits, nice and hot out of the oven. Hopefully, she was trapped in an accident That's the excuse everybody gives. It's an accident. It's not my kids. No, I'm just joking. So she'll be here. She's got several jellies for us to try. I'm really looking forward to this because I've heard so much about her products, and I'll be honest, I've never tried them. She'll be here in studio for the next, the rest of the segment, full hour. So let's see. This weekend. Oh, she is actually here. So we'll wait till the break. We had a minute to the break. We'll wait till she is here. We'll give her a chance to settle down and relax from the stress of driving through an accident scene on the freeway. And I know there are a lot of flashing lights and police cars. Anyway, it's Easter weekend. Again, I'm going to ask you one more time. Please be kind to your servers. Be patient with the kitchen. They're serving you on a holiday when they do not get to spend that time with their family. It means a lot to them to serve you. So be nice. And if you need something, say please. And if they bring it to you, say thank you. Common courtesy. Can't tell you how many times I hear, hey, there she is. Hi, Donna. I can't tell you how many times I'm sitting at a restaurant table and I hear somebody say, hey, can I get more water? And then whomever I'm sitting with doesn't say please. It's a little frustrating. So be nice, be generous, take your time, enjoy your family, enjoy your food. Chef Patrick Mosher, Food Biz Pro. We will be right back with course number 3, the main course of the day. No, it's not lamb, it's not beef, it's jelly and biscuits. Come right back.
This is the only 24-hour take-anywhere platform dedicated to food and fun. We're Spoony.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. House Judiciary Committee Chairman Gerald Nadler has, as expected, issued a subpoena for the full Mueller report.
Just 24 hours after the redacted report was released, Nadler issued a subpoena ordering the Justice Department to release the full report along with underlying information. Nadler said he's working with Justice to reach what he calls a reasonable accommodation, but he adds, I cannot accept any proposal which leaves most of Congress in the dark. Nadler set a May 1st deadline for the department to comply.
Capitol Hill correspondent Wally Hines. Joe Biden appears to be making final preparations to join the race for the Democratic presidential nomination.
3 people with knowledge of Joe Biden's plans tell the Associated Press the former vice president will join the race next week. Biden would be the oldest and most experienced politician among the 18 other high-profile Democrats who have already announced presidential bids. And while he will enter as a frontrunner, he faces questions about his age, he's 76, and whether his more moderate record fits with a party that's become more liberal. President Trump's Republican allies have privately warned Biden might pose the greatest threat to his re-election, given Biden's potential appeal amongst white working-class voters in the Midwest who helped propel Trump to victory. Ben Thomas, Washington.
Also at townhall.com, U.S. home construction slipped 0.3% in March as housing starts are running below last year's pace.
The Commerce Department says housing starts last month were at a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 1.14 million. So far this year, starts have fallen 9.7%. Builders are pulling back from their construction of single-family houses and apartments. Housing starts fell last month in the Northeast, Midwest, and South, but they surged in the West.
Correspondent Jeremy House reporting permits, an indicator of future activity, fell 1.7% to an annual rate of 1.27 million. More of these stories at townhall.com.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-452-1075. 800-452-1075. That's 800-452-1075. Got an old car? You can donate it, whether it's running or not, to the United Breast Cancer Foundation and save a life. They'll even come and pick it up for free. The United Breast Cancer Foundation has saved hundreds of women's lives through their free or low-cost breast screen exams. But now they need your help. The United Breast Cancer Foundation wants to save more lives through early detection by offering women free or low-cost breast screening exams. And donating your old car, SUV, or truck, whether it's running or not, helps pay for them. Plus, you get a charitable tax deduction. Help the United Breast Cancer Foundation save lives by donating your old car, SUV, or truck. Call now for free pickup. 800-245-0823. 800-245-0823. 800-245-0823. Call right now. That number again is 800-245-0823.
Never Forgotten Apparel is more than just a premium women's and men's clothing line. It's a movement to remind us to wear American-made and serve those who serve us. Our heroes. Never Forgotten Apparel gives 20% of their total sales to nonprofits that support homeless veterans and off-duty firefighters, and 50% to individual veterans and firefighters in need nationwide. Check out neverforgottenapparel.com. Use promo code MATT, M-A-T-T, and get 15% off your purchase.
Hello, we are back and live on Spoony Radio. The Chef Patrick Mosher, the Food Biz Pro. All right, Donna, you have too many names, all right, to introduce you with all of them. It is Donna, the Jelly Queen. What do you say? Of the Jelly Queens, all right?
Donna Collins of
Donna
the Jelly
Collins,
Queen.
okay, thank you. Because you have at least 4 names that I know of.
Yeah, well, I want everybody to be able to find me for my whole wild life.
Exactly. I hear you. All right, so we're going to close that. I'm sorry, look, I'm not answering any comments on Facebook today. I will get to them right after the show because if you haven't noticed, if you're watching, Donna has brought an entire picnic spread right here. We have everything from Wagyu brisket?
Wagyu brisket, yeah.
Who's that from, by the way?
That is from the meat shop on Lover's Lane.
Oh, yeah.
Rosewood Ranch.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to serve it with a little bit of the Jelly Queen's black garlic rosemary sauce.
Wow. Oh, man. Can I tell you what? So I've been waiting for look at that bang the drum. I've been waiting for this a long time. All right. Can I tell you? I love all of our other guests, but you haven't brought food.
Yeah.
Where's the food?
You're supposed to bring
This is
food.
Texas. Trey Chapman, dude, I love you, man, but you got to start telling people to bring food. I mean, they brought CDs today. I really like Brandon. He's a great musician. I've met him a couple times downstairs we're at the Country Network Studios right here in Haltom City, overlooking the Mojo River in downtown Fort Worth, not San Antonio. That's a long view, but you're the first person to really feed me.
Well, I told you.
Your
I was going
own
to feed
food.
you. Yes.
I've had people feed me other people's food.
Well, this is kind of the neighborhood food.
I had some like egg rolls and pho, and that was really good, and I'm very appreciative. Thank you, Derry, by the way, O'Connor. But I'm telling you, this stuff, you were really famous for these biscuits, by the way.
Yeah, they kind of pretty
Little.
good.
All right, so let's go back a minute. Jelly Queens of Texas. So your man is a Spice King.
Yeah, he got tired of being called Schlepper.
The man that carries the stuff?
Yes.
I got you. So how did he become the Spice? I mean, how did that, how did the whole Jelly Queen Spice King start?
I was on season 2 of MasterChef.
Mm-hmm. Wait. Oh, no, I was thinking, a different show. I'm sorry. I was thinking Ian Hall, Top Shelf.
And
you weren't just on there. You happened to not just be on there.
Well, my claim to fame is being on the American Idol commercial. That's probably the most airtime that I actually got. But when I left the show, they basically said, you need to go home and start your own food company. You actually make some of the best food we ever had. So that's kind of what I did.
You're welcome to have some. If you don't, this is Boulevard Brewery's 6th Glass Quadruple Ale because it's Friday. And around here, we start at about, we used to be early, 8:30 in the morning. We had beer for breakfast Fridays. Now it's more like boozy brunch because the host at the neighboring studio, our partner, Mojo 50, he has moved to a later slot. So at 11:30, we start like boozy brunch Friday. We still got beer for breakfast. But, yeah, it doesn't always go this early in the day. So.
Well, you can start with jelly that has beer in it.
Ooh, what do we have?
We've actually used Boulevard. We use their pumpkin in our pumpkin butter every year.
Yeah, they're a great brewery out of Kansas City,
they're
Missouri,
wonderful.
Right? Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I brought you courses.
Ooh,
basically,
because this is funny. This is course 3. This is the 3rd segment of the day, better known as the entree course. So what do we have?
So we have Wagyu brisket from the meat shop. We have the Jelly Queens biscuits, and we have a special Spoony pie.
Oh, look at that. Okay. Oh, cool. So I need a picture of that before we bite into that. She has, look at this.
I didn't make it. No,
it doesn't matter who did it.
That's from Texas Petite Pies.
Take the damn credit, okay? If you look at this, she has put the Spoony logo in the pie as the part of the crust on the top. That's very cool.
Isn't that fun?
That's awesome. Thank you. That's very
from
thoughtful.
Texas Petite Pies, but we brought a little one for you to eat on the air, and this one you can take home for Easter.
Yay!
Okay. And then I brought moonshine from Sledge Distillery.
Wow. It's going to be a bit of a drive today. Yeah. So moonshine. So Sledge, they're local as well, right?
They're local. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, you see what else we have local here?
Yeah, I want to meet them.
Yeah, so the Deep Ellum Distillery, they've left one of their bottle of dill pickle vodka here. You know, it's funny, their flavors, they have all these flavors, right? The dill pickle, but they're white, the plain, the regular old vodka, they call multi-purpose. It's awesome.
Well, we're going to start doing some stuff with Sledge Moonshine.
Well, I'm gonna pull the cork and just take a whiff, and you're gonna explain some more what we have besides this wonderful Wagyu brisket and the pie. I see your famous biscuits and some jelly.
Yeah, I brought raspberry, which has raspberry framboise in it, our quadruple award-winning blood orange lavender marmalade, bacon jam.
I love bacon jam, by the way.
Yeah, this is made with Red Horn Brewery's.
Let's put these right out front.
Red Horn Brewery's coffee beer.
Ooh, so that's a coffee bacon. That's like a breakfast in a bottle. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And no booze involved. Wow, I who thought that was possible?
And then
I really don't drink that much, Donna. Please don't look at me like that.
I brought things for you to drink on purpose.
I know. I'm just teasing you. Fridays are our day around here.
This is the only one I'm not allowed to leave with you. This is our new Merlot pancake syrup.
Yeah,
this is the last jar, and everybody said this has to come back home. So
I don't care what they said.
I'm
just teasing. She's like, Patrick, I'm eating it for breakfast tomorrow.
No. They want to be able to compare the second batch because
I'm teasing.
We just did.
If we don't open that, it's okay. Because here's the deal: when it starts to oxidize, the flavors can change a little bit. I understand. Taste it right out of the bottle. If you need to take that and put it away, I get it. Thanks for bringing it.
And then this one is honey butter, cinnamon honey butter from Bonton Farms. We're actually partnering with them on a bunch of different things.
Very cool.
So this is going to go on your biscuits.
Okay.
Okay.
Ooh, we're going to butter my biscuits.
So dig in.
I'm digging in. All right. So
you have to put a little bit of black garlic sauce on your your Wagyu.
Black garlic has this very, very unique flavor, right? It's kind of it's got this fermented vinegar flavor to it. It's a little sweet. It's got a hint of garlic. It really doesn't taste like garlic anymore.
Yeah,
it's brilliant, and it's one of my favorite things that have been brought back to the U.S. in the last 10 years, 15 years.
So this one actually won best condiment in the world.
Really?
It's made with red table wine, balsamic vinegar, Paul Quinn College rosemary, and then black garlic. Texas Gold black garlic.
I'd like to say it tastes good, but other people are going to want to try it, so it's terrible. Don't come in the studio. Don't ask for a bite. I'm going to take this home and finish the bottle, but that's awesome. Wow. No, that's delicious. Okay, so what's the additional sweetness in there?
Sugar. There's sugar in there. Balsamic vinegar.
Balsamic is the
balsamic
richness,
vinegar is
kind of. Wow.
And then a nice organic red table wine.
Can you keep talking while I'm taking the bite? Because this is really, really good.
So
wow.
Yeah, you have to eat everything. So that's one of our favorites because when anybody comes to the shop, we always serve some kind of wonderful meat and.
Wow.
So.
No, wow. Holy crap. Okay, so look, brisket's great, right? One of my favorite meats. I grew up in upstate New York and New York City and Arizona, and barbecuing was grilling out, as we say in Texas, right? It wasn't smoking meat, it was grilling out. That's delicious, but I'll tell you what, I love brisket. It's probably one of my favorite preparations of meat. That right there, though, is above and beyond. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And do you have One more time, where do you get the black garlic from, or is it just
It's Texas Gold out of San Antonio.
Wow.
It's
we need to have them on the show because I love black
they're
garlic.
good, and their stuff is fabulous, and we love Stephen. He's a great chef, and starting Texas Gold black garlic is kind of amazing.
Well, and it's really good. I heard you on Mark's show last week. That's Mark Conway, and he's been very helpful in developing the show content, but even more so making an introduction to show hosts. So props to Mark. Mark's show is on right before mine, Monday through Friday. That's 1 o'clock East Coast. That's noon Central. And his show is called Family Meal. And man, he's just a nice guy. He loves the industry. He
I
really
love
is.
him.
Yeah, he's done a lot for just about everybody he meets.
Well, and he said he's the one who said that I was the grandma everybody wished they had. So
that's a pretty nice compliment. I'm going to wait till I try the biscuits to answer that, but I feeling we're going that direction.
We're going that direction. That's next. So you want honey butter or you want bacon jam on your biscuits?
Let's do bacon jam, and here's why. We'll go sweetest to sweet last.
Okay.
We'll go rich and savory, little sweet before that.
Now,
man, those biscuits. So how many of these do you make? The WFC lasts for like 5-6 days, depending on how early you get there, and it's a 5-day competition. All right, and final table's the same. How long are you there, and how many biscuits do you have to cook a day?
Oh, well, I just do a couple pans in the morning for the VIP tent. So it's like, that's why Mark says he stands there until the biscuits come out because he doesn't want to take the chance of missing them. Can I borrow your knife?
You may. There we are.
So this is, we've even done Wagyu and bacon jam, but this is our normal recipe, and this is kind of going to be our claim to fame.
That's very good. So do you is there any special source for the pork that you use in this and in the bacon?
I have looked for a local bacon place, and
that's tough.
It's a little hard to find.
They're not a lot of pig farms in Texas. It's a little warm down here, and the smell tends to carry. I'm just saying. I love pork's probably one of my favorite meat. All right, so we're gonna take oh man, that smells like
it has chocolate in it.
Yeah, which you get a hint of cocoa, cacao, not really chocolate so much, but you really smell the bacon.
So it's bacon, balsamic, chocolate, and coffee beer.
That doesn't suck.
I'm so glad.
It's an old phrase about a friend of mine who was a fellow Boy Scout leader from the Navy. And it was delicious. They said, "Oh, it doesn't suck," because everything else did. That's amazing.
Pretty fun.
Number one condiment in the world?
Oh, no. I've never entered that. This is, we've won 14 world awards.
Wow.
This one was the black garlic sauce won world's best condiment.
Which I love.
I've never entered the bacon jam in anything. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. So.
But that's your claim to fame.
It's going to be our claim to fame. We're getting ready to go on QVC with that.
Ooh, that's very cool. So I'm going to keep eating this. Really, how long ago? How long has it been since you actually started the company?
The company is 7 years old. My husband basically says it's the most expensive woman's hobby on the planet.
Yeah, people are very like, oh, how glamorous! You have a radio show. I'm like, no, it's a hobby until you get paid.
Yeah. So pretty much, we make a little bit of money every once in a while, but we're getting ready to kind of.
So here's a question. Myself, I'm not just a restaurant consultant, a restaurateur, chef, but I've done a lot of product distribution. I've helped making those introductions. What is your target market with this? What market would you like to be in?
We're really a gift. We are not a grocery store item. We're in Williams-Sonoma, and we've been in a few Whole Foods. We're in a lot of little hotel gift shops, that kind of thing, sort of representing Texas whenever we can. So we really are a gift. Everything we do is organic. It's all handmade. We're a little pricey, and we do a lot of unusual flavors. We have probably about 300 different flavors.
That's all? 300?
That's all.
I muted the mic so I could actually chew my food without being rude here, but because yes, I'm eating everything on my plate. So that's that's one of the issues I hear all the time with people that create and manufacture, especially themselves, and distribute these gourmet products. it doesn't really gourmet products in general. They're very expensive to produce. And then if you want to keep control and not use a co-packer, like I was reading through the website, co-packaging is basically you have another manufacturer, you give them a gold standard recipe, they do the best they can to match it for a production recipe, and they manufacture and produce your product. But it's very expensive to do it that way too, because you have to come up with enough money to do a minimum run on the initial order of like 5,000 units or 10,000 units, which when you think about that at $3 or $5, that's a lot of money, $30, $50, $100,000. I've been in that game. I mean, I opened Hubble and Hudson. I was one of the culinary director there in the Woodlands in Houston. And it was amazing. I mean, it was actually incredibly shocking to me as a chef how expensive it is to process, cook, and package retail products. From any perspective, whether manufacturing, like you're a creator, but us as a retailer, I mean, we had very little market. We made very little money on our dry goods that were because we couldn't make everything in-house. It's a grocery store. Yeah. So what's the point?
Well,
what could Spoony do to help? How can we get the word out?
Oh, well, you just need to have people go online, to thejellyqueens.com. And
I was going to say, where do they find you? But you beat me to the punch.
Thejellyqueens.com.
I was eating.
Or better, they should come to Lover's Lane in Dallas, because that little neighborhood is kind of an enclave of amazing crafters.
Oh, yeah. So are you close to any of the restaurants that Tracy Rathbun and Kent run down there?
We're a couple blocks from Kent's place.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
He's a good guy. He's helped us. He was on the Jelly Queens TV show quite a bit.
Was he?
Yeah, Adventures of the Jelly Queens. So.
Oh, that's cool. Is he buying your product? Don't maybe kick him in the butt and say, "Hey, Kent, come on, man, incorporate this into the Asian dishes."
I don't know too many places that he can use jelly in.
You know what? To the black garlic though, that would be good. You could. So I worked for Nobu for a long time, many years ago, and I was involved in opening here and all over the country. I worked at Matsuhisa and Aspen. I was opening chef there. That though, as sweet or dessert-like as that may seem to people, that flavor, that black garlic, can be incorporated so much. So, especially black garlic and the balsamic vinegar. Class. I mean, that's like two different items that mimic each other from completely different opposing cultures and opposing flavor profiles that blend so well together. I may have to call Kent.
Well,
he was one of my first interviews here, actually. I love it.
He was?
Oh, so you know what's cool about that? I got to sit back and be a fan for a day, because we talked about when he beat Bobby Flay with his brother in the Elk Challenge on what was it, the Iron Chef?
Iron Chef, yeah.
And that was one of the top 10 moments in Iron Chef history. He's just such a nice guy too.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah, she's like, no, she's okay.
No,
he is a good
amazing.
guy. He's a really good guy.
We've had a good time in his house. Having dinners.
That's a hell of a kitchen.
It's
Can I tell you?
An amazing kitchen.
Man, I'm telling you, this kitchen is nicer than most restaurant kitchens. As a matter of fact, it's nicer than almost. I was a private chef for billionaires for a long time, and that's better than almost every kitchen I've ever worked in. The only person I can say, David Saperstein, wherever you are, I know I'm not supposed to hear your name on the air. Wherever you are, I had a 2,000 square foot production kitchen to do parties for them. But I'll tell you, second to that, only ever have I seen is Kent's kitchen, and it's more beautiful than any kitchen I've ever worked in.
Fabulous.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Even when you walk in the front door and he's got this chandelier of all the broken dishes. Did you notice that when you walked in?
Enough of my man crush on Kent. Let's talk about Jelly Queen. So,
all right.
So we have one more we have to try. Well, not have to. I want to try. Oh, but wait, where does this fit in the picture? Where does that fit in?
Well.
It's that moonshine.
I have just found them. Sledge Distillery is in kind of out in the country outside of Granbury.
Granbury is. I ain't a Texan.
It's Texas. It's on the southwest side of Fort Worth.
That sounds right.
Yeah,
I've seen the signs. I've never been there.
Yeah,
I should.
But this is way out in the country, and this is the place you need to go there. They are doing. Last weekend they did 500 pounds of salmon. That was from Alaska. That the distiller's son does fishing trips up there in the summer.
What did they do with the salmon?
They fried it. They had fried salmon.
No, so tempura battered salmon. That's a big thing. Like in Japan, they do that as fried fish. You can't go wrong with fried fish.
So
Is this like a White Lightning type of spirit that I'm going to try here? Is that
you know what? I don't really drink, and the thing that's so amazing is that I even liked it.
I do drink, and I probably drink more often than I say I don't. But let's try it real quick.
Okay.
And is this
I'm
just?
I'm going to see what you say because we're going to start making.
I'm going to make this a little because I'll tell you what. So, moonshine.
Moonshine.
Woo! It'll get you.
And it has an old family history.
Really?
It was the distiller's dad's recipe.
Really? So what's interesting is distilleries here, the licensed distilleries, there was a long period where there were no real big licensed distillers in Texas. And as far as bourbon goes, I know 2006 was like the first licensed one. I'm sure this goes back a little further because...
this goes back to,
Well, after Prohibition, they all shut them down, and we still got, come on. Even in New York.
He said that when he first started making it, he was making it in the creek.
Okay, so you know what? I'm friends with the brother of the gentleman that started Old Smoky, which is probably the most well-known, biggest manufacturer or distiller of they don't own it anymore. It was bought by a bigger distillery. But I have to tell you, they don't have anything this smooth.
It doesn't hurt when it goes down.
No, well, and this is the thing. This is not a flavored. They make apple pie and watermelon, all these wonderful flavored stuff, all these wonderful flavored types of moonshine out there. This is straight moonshine, and I'm still speaking, which that means a lot because typically I'd have to go mute the mic and take a glass of water. That was really good. This is really good. It's really smooth, and I'm not going to ask. I'm sure they have some way of treating this. 186 proof. This is 93% alcohol. Am I wrong? Let me look at that real, because that may be one of 100, maybe 100. I just want to make sure. Bottle number. Okay. All right. Just want to make sure. No. Okay. All right. So here. Okay. Here's the thing.
You can give me a lesson.
No. This is okay. This is more like. This is why I like it. It's not like 60, 70, 80% alcohol. This is 40%. It's 80 proof. I didn't have my glass on. I see batch 106 from batch number one.
Batch number one. Yeah.
Batch number one, bottle 106. And this is from grain, potatoes, cane, and tomatoes?
Tomatoes.
So, all right, I got it back here one more time. Let me take a little bit of the savor here. All
so
right.
we're going to be working with them and doing some flavored moonshine.
I could eat something salty, a little smoky. Clean the palate here. See if I can discern the tomato in here. On the nose, it's so smooth, it's like corn, right? But on the palate, so tomato has a particular flavor that comes from the seed. A lot of people like tomatoes because that. It's a cleansing flavor. You get that at the finish of this. You get the corn in the front. There's potatoes like vodka. It's really tasteless, flavorless, odorless. Cane is where the sweetness comes from, and then there's like this fifth flavor we call in the industry. That's really good.
Isn't it good?
It's really good. Yeah. So I'm gonna go down there. I'm gonna live broadcast from there.
They're just the sweetest couple, and it's the best story.
It's awesome.
His daddy married a woman who wouldn't let him drink, and so he kind of hid his recipe away and passed it on to his son.
He married a woman that wouldn't let him drink? Why'd he get married?
Well, I guess it was just true love. It's just true love.
Okay, sorry, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He came back from the war. I mean, the story's on here.
No, I know. That's the chef in me talking.
Yeah. So anyway, his son picked it up, and now his son, the grandson, is even doing. His company is called Whiskey Morning Coffee, and he uses the barrels for his coffee roasting. So there's a little hint of whiskey in the beans.
Awesome.
So all of these companies are kind of helping us with. We're doing an EAT certification class for the World Food Championship.
And which I'm going to, that's why I was waiting for you to come on the show so I can promote this.
Yes. So these are all the people who are going to help us and feed all of the guests that come to the class.
But explain to us what the EAT certification class is.
Well, the World Food Championships needs 400 judges for the event in October. Yeah. Okay. And so May 5th, we're doing a class at the Jelly Queens that is going to have, it's going to be like a little mini World Food Championships because we're going to have vendors. We're having a pie throwdown.
Yeah, I'm part of the pie throwdown with Randy White, some other people.
You get to be a judge and kind of, figure out who has the best pie in Texas. We actually have Bonafide Betty's and Sweet Lucy's. Bonafide Betty's was just rated the #1 pie shop in the state
Texas,
by USA Today. So we're gonna have a little pie throwdown.
Hey, we're going to take a quick break. Please stay through the break, folks. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. Again, Donna from she is the Jelly Queen, the Jelly Queens. We'll be back, but also Cheryl from Mixed Metaphor is going to call in with what are we drinking Friday, what are we drinking Saturday, or drinks. And you know what? I'm going to ask her to make up a custom drink with a couple of these flavors. Should be fun. I'll try to pair it with some food. We'll be right back here on the Food Biz Pro Show. Chef Patrick Mosher, course 4, dessert coming up next.
Follow Chef Patrick Mosher on Twitter at Food Biz Pro.
Have you done it? You catch a glimpse of yourself in the mirror?
I'm one of those people you don't want to see naked.
Yeah, most of us. But I mean, you look and you're going, what the?
I know.
How did I get to whatever?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, it's horrible. Hey there, it's Doc Thompson and Brad Staggs to tell you about a different way to shed those pounds. This is brand new tech. It's only been around for a couple of years or so. It was based on research from the University of California that said there's a molecule called OEA that's found naturally in your body. It produces it in the Mediterranean diet, that when taken in concentrated amounts, it will actually make you feel fuller and boost your metabolism.
I've lost about 10 pounds so far.
It's amazing.
It
now,
really is cool.
A company said, we can take this to market and make this great product that'll help you. It's called RidUZone, RIDUZone.com, RIDUZone.com. It's Brad's work. It's worked for Brad's, worked for me, countless other people. Go to RidUZone.com and try today. You're going to love it. RidUZone.com. Remember that, RIDUZone.com.
Take the pain out of ordering your diabetic testing supplies with Diathrive. Diathrive ships the testing supplies you need directly to you when you need them. Best of all, with plans starting as low as $8 a month, Diathrive is probably going to cost you less than what you're paying today. Diathrive is so convinced that you'll love their service, they're offering your first month of supplies free. Simply type the code DOC, D-O-C, at checkout. Diathrive.com. That's D-I-A, thrive.com.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-570-6630. 800-570-6630. That's 800-570-6630. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
I had people laugh at me because I kind of dance up and down when the music. You know what? I can't help it. The music plays. I didn't choose the music. It's still fun. I just need to check and make sure the phones are actually on today because if they're not, I'm not going to have my call from Cheryl. And Cheryl, oh, look at that. They're running. Let me do this. Let me refresh. I know they're on. They're on. Let me refresh, though. Just make sure. Yep, they're on. And nope, they're not. So I don't know what is there a password over there? Yeah, you know how to do it. Okay. Thanks, man. Appreciate you. So we got Jeff in the booth taking care of us over there. All right. So I've had the brisket, which I really have a hard time stopping eating. But what makes it so amazingly delicious over the top, even though it's Wagyu, is that black garlic. Wow. Nope. Oh, that's on me. Sorry. Okay, I forgot to mute. I muted you.
Okay.
Yell out. Yell out.
I'm just glad. You like it. So we love the meat shop. They're for our event on May 5th. They're going to do little mini sliders, delicate little dainty sliders, since we're having a little tea party.
Awesome. Okay, so here we go. Nope, I'm still not on hybrid extension. Still not on there, but I'm trying to get the phone lines running. And you know what? The master of disaster is not here today. Yeah, I can call Ron. That's fine.
No, I'm just asking you to hold on. I've got it taken care of, sir. Just enjoy some more biscuits and jelly because you're not bringing any in here. You know what? If you want a phone call, how about you pass on some of that cinnamon honey butter biscuit thing?
You want a job? How about you just for a minute to the show? I'm just joking, man. No, Jeff, hey, we'll bring some out in just a second.
Give me just a moment, all right?
I know. Yeah, I know you're talking to Ron. So, look, what happened today is our technical guru, the master of non-disaster and successful radio shows. Ron Phillips is he left a little early today, which is great. Good for him. He spends pretty much every hour every day here with me until at least 4 or 5, 6 o'clock. And thank goodness he got to leave early. But it's funny. I see him remotely on the computer all night long. It kind of freaks me out because I'll see the cursor move on the screen. I'm like, who the hell's doing that? Man, the ghost of Doc is back. You heard about Doc?
No.
We won't talk about it in this. I'll tell you off the air. But yeah, we had a very bizarre way of losing a partner about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. Yeah. Come on, I won't say the word I usually say, which is it begins with a D, and the second word begins with an A. But we'll talk about that later. Anyway, I really thought somebody had put these. So one of our listeners, he came in today. His name is Raider. It's his name on Twitter. His Twitter handle. His name is Harold. But he put these. What they're called Anoyatrons. It's a little circular speaker that it's about 2 inches in diameter, about 1 inch thick, and they basically have like 7 or 8 sounds each, but they're unique sounds. Like one is a da-da-da-da-da-da-da, you know, the old Motorola ring, and then randomly it would start playing another digital sound like 4 to 25 or seconds later, or maybe 3 minutes later, and then one would go wah, wah, like a baby crying, and then there would be one like, hey, can you hear me now? And he stuck one in one of the vents out here in front of this 2 studios here where you just walked in, and he put one over here in one of these unoccupied offices up on the vent on top of the metal. They have a magnet inside of them, and he left them. And so that was on a Friday, and Sunday night I'm walking around here thinking, because I hadn't really come on the side of the building, I'm like, oh, I'll do a little work, and I hear one of those things. I'm like, what is in the ceiling?
You think you're being haunted.
Nah, I thought Doc was haunting me for a little while. So I was like, this is not cool. I actually didn't come in the side of the building for like 36 hours because I had to come out for the show. But other than that, I stayed out of here.
Oh.
Yeah, not cool. Anyway, so what else are we going to try today? Because I'm not starving, but your stuff is so good. I can't say no.
Yeah. Okay, so you have to try. This is Texas Petite Pies. But it is a combination product.
It should be Texas Petty Pies.
Liz and I like to have fun sort of combining things. So this is her cherry pie recipe that got passed down from her mama with white chocolate habanero sauce kind of mixed into it. So
that doesn't sound good at all. No, I'm joking. Wow. I took just a bite of the crust that had a tiny bit of the cherry on there and the white chocolate. I'm going to have to close the mic here for a second, so bear with me, folks. I'll sound like, What About Bob, where he's sitting there going, Because now I'll leave the mic open. I'll tell you, just that little bit, though, is still lingering, that flavor. That's rich, tart, sweet, buttery, crispy, all at the same time with a little streusel on top. All right. Nobody else is that the same pie?
That's the same pie.
Okay, y'all can have a small one.
Well, I have other small ones. I did think of y'all. I wasn't just thinking of him. I brought things for everybody. So,
man, wow.
Rich. Isn't it amazingly rich?
Yeah. Has that ever been entered anywhere?
No. We just did that last night.
Wow.
We were trying to think of something fun to bring for you. So.
Well, can I tell you, one of our listeners, Summy Schick, he goes down to, they have the American Pie bake off in Florida. He was down there last week, the week before.
Yeah.
It's not Sarasota, but somewhere down there. I mean, I looked at the flavors of the pies that have won in the past. If you don't enter this somewhere, give me the recipe and I'll enter it.
Okay.
I'm serious. That's delicious.
We do some really fun combos. So we do blueberry and lemon lavender curd.
So lemon curd is one of my favorites.
Lemon curd's one. Yeah, we won the Good Food Awards for our lemon lavender curd. Actually, we make the only lemon lavender curd in the world.
Really?
So, yeah, we'll have to bring that for you the next time.
Okay. We have Cheryl Heisler on the phone. And Cheryl, hold on 1 second. Sorry about the delay.
That's okay.
How are you?
Glad you're there.
Yeah, me too.
I'm well. How about yourself?
I'm living the dream. Hey, Cheryl. I want you to meet Donna. Donna, meet Cheryl.
Hi, Cheryl.
Hey, how are you?
Okay.
All right. So for those of you just tuning in or that haven't first-time listeners, which I highly doubt could be likely, hopefully we have a lot of first-time listeners. Cheryl is the proprietor of mixedmetaphors.com. If you need a custom drink for your party, your event, a family member, a birthday gathering, any kind of a gift, whether to match the theme, the menu, the personality, she will custom design a cocktail for you with recipes. Now, I'm sure you don't mail tastings of that, right?
No, but I'll talk anybody through it. That we'll get the recipe, you'll get the how-tos, you'll get everything that's custom made to make that taste profile work for your party, your event. Get the colors right, get the themes right. It's your own drink. You own it.
I was trying, I was like thinking, could you? So everyone that you make, could you send a tester to us? But I know you do enough for us already. We're very grateful. You're very gracious and help us out every week. But let's get to the task at hand because, we got you on a little late. We have about 20 minutes left in the segment. And we have to ask the question everyone wants to know every Friday afternoon. Right. And that is, what are we drinking?
We need a drum roll.
What are we drinking Friday?
All right, so today, Friday, I thought we would play off of the fact that in some places, although the East Coast is getting battered with bad weather, there could be some cherry blossoms coming out. So this first one is all about cherries. We're calling it sweet and sour and spicy cherry.
Okay.
You get 2 parts black cherry juice. I gave this one in parts instead of ounces because it makes a beautiful little shot as well as a rocks kind of a drink, if you want to put it in a pretty rocks glass or a cognac glass. 2 parts black cherry juice, 1 part sour cherry liqueur. I like the sour cherry liqueur from Portugal. It's amazing. But there's a cherry hearing, which is also something that you can get easily in the States, and that'll work. And then for the heat, you're going to add a 1/2 part Ancho Chile Reyes liqueur. And we've used that before. I know you guys are fans of it. It's terrific. So this one just plays in your mouth. You get sweet, you get sour, and you get spice. And I want it over ice, and I want you to put just a nice orange peel in to help clean up any aftertaste. And you got yourself a sour and spicy cherry.
Man, that's like a sour and spicy not simplified, but sour and spicy Manhattan with that or old fashioned actually. So I like the
It's got hints of both, but the black cherry base I think makes it a definite cherry cocktail. If you don't like cherries, you're probably not going to like this drink. But who doesn't like cherries?
You don't like cherries, you're in America. I'm just saying. I mean, come on.
Perfect drink for the cherry pie.
So yeah, it's funny because she. No, it's very interesting. Donna is the proprietor of the Jelly Queens company, and she brought in a cherry pie, which is a white chocolate cherry pie.
White chocolate habanero.
Habanero cherry pie.
Yeah, white chocolate habanero.
Oh my God! I'm telling you what.
How are we on the same wavelength, Donna? Like you have to tell people we've never met before. It's just like when a magician brings somebody up.
Kind of
These
funny.
2 ladies have never set eyes on each other, but they hit the same thing.
You didn't know who I was going to have on. This tastes so good, y'all keep talking. I'm going to finish the rest of the pie, but so this Portuguese cherry liqueur. Can you tell me about that? Mm-hmm. Is that the sour cherry?
Yes, it's a sour cherry, and I don't have the bottle in front of me. I can't remember the exact name, but I'll find it for you for next week. But I babysat a cousin of mine's son, and they went to Portugal, and they had a blast, and they felt, I had a great time. Frankie and I had wonderful 4 days together, but they wanted to bring me something that they knew I'd like. And so they painstakingly brought me back this bottle of sour cherry liqueur, and it's outstanding. It's great on the rocks, but it's also wonderful to mix with.
So this would be really good. This particular, I can't taste it, but I can imagine what it tastes like as a sipping drink with something fatty, a little rich, whether it's cheese and crackers. But this would go with an entree that is not overly seasoned, like venison medallion with just plain salt and pepper. Something with that.
Because it's thick too, so you really do want to have something that's got meat, no pun intended. I think it could be great with duck too. It may be too much on the same, like a duck à l'orange with the cherry, the sour, the cherry, the sweet, and the duck. That would work.
Yeah, but no, I think if you if you down à l'orange, if you just plain old duck breast. Okay, trim about a third of the fat off the edges of the top side of the breast. And then score that and really sear that top side. So here's the key: when you cook duck breast, you need to render out like 80% of the fat from the skin side of the duck breast. And the only way to do that without it kind of curling up on you or not cooking in the middle is you have to cut these these hatch marks, right? So you basically cut every half an inch. You cut a stripe through the fat on one going one direction, and then you do a 90-degree across that going the other direction, and it gives this really pretty crosshatch pattern. But you need to render almost all the fat out. If you don't, even though the duck is cooked perfectly, a lot of time the meat, there's a layer of kind of connective tissue that's really chewy between the skin and the flesh. And if you don't render
when you have duck,
I'm sorry?
No, when it's done right, duck is amazing.
It is. When it's not, it's chewy, right? Or it's dry or whatever. But if you don't render that fat out, it doesn't work. And so this would go really well because it's fatty and it's a little gamey. The cherry, the spice, it's going to kind of cut through that. And I think that's a perfect juxtaposition. And I got to try that one. That's nice and easy. So, Raider, Harold, Mr. Anoyatron. Yes, guy drove me crazy. I thought it was crazy hearing voices in the ceiling tiles. But I know you were on that call. You were on that call. So, I'm going to try this. I'm going to buy some duck breast, and this is easy. I'll give him a list to bring in. He's offered to help stock our bar. He's such a gentleman. But I'll try this. But in the meantime, I know we have What Are We Drinking Saturday. Donna has brought in this beautiful, well, we do, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But Donna has brought in this wonderful Dubs Spirit of 42 World War II recipe. It's from Sledge Distillery here in Texas, just outside of, it's on the southwest side of, basically Fort Worth here. She has this great it's an 80 proof moonshine, it's amazing because typically moonshine just kills me. Even the sweet stuff, whether it's apple pie or whether it's another flavor, watermelon is one of my favorites, but it's so hot going down. This is like a sipping whiskey. It's as smooth as some of the modern bourbons. What would you do with this? Like a low proof, not overly flavored, although I'm going to tell you what's in this. This is still from grain, potatoes, cane, and tomatoes. And the tomato, you don't really get the flavor of tomato, but you know that taste that you get from the tomato seed that when you bite into it. It's not the seed itself, but there's almost a flavor to the texture, so to speak. That's what you get from it. Or maybe if you make tomato water, you ever had tomato water where you puree it up and you strain it out and you have tomato water? It's kind of like that, but it's not that strong. So if you're going to create,
does it have a little bit of a pink color to it?
It doesn't actually. It's clear white. It's a clear white, and you can talk. Feel free to talk, Don.
Yeah, it's clear. That's one of the reasons why we've chosen them. So what we want is to be able to use the moonshine and create flavors that have a little bit of color to them.
But it's not too hot, which I like. It still tastes. It's still got that moonshine spirit, and it's got a little bit of a more like a thicker mouthfeel, a little bit of a more coating to the mouth than most moonshines do. It's not astringent. It's more, it kind of lingers a little bit. How would you incorporate that into something really simple with that? What could you do?
Well, the first thing I think of because of the tomato is some kind of a Bloody Mary or a Bloody Maria. I think with tequila it could be wonderful. I don't know if that's not pressing the boundaries enough. Have you guys tried it with, Donna, what do you use it in when you're cooking?
Oh, we're going to put it in our jelly. We're going to make peach moonshine and plum moonshine jam. And
so she is the jelly queen. The jelly queen. I mean, so they have this great like black garlic balsamic vinegar condiment. It's basically a jelly, but it's a little thinner than that. That I'll tell you what, it's number one. It was with
it won best condiment in the world.
So it's phenomenal. It's got this deep
in the world.
Yeah, we won the World Marmalade Award and. We have 14 awards. So, and we do a lot of garden to glass things. So we have all kinds of recipes for using the jelly in drinks too.
Oh, jelly's great in drinks, especially if you're doing like a shaken drink. So that gives it a chance to break down.
Ooh,
wait. The sweet in there.
Wait. What's your favorite jelly? This is for Cheryl.
Blood orange lavender marmalade.
Blood orange lavender marmalade. Could you pair that with this and make a shake and drink?
Yeah, we got that with us.
With this one right here? No? Okay. What else? Blood orange lavender marmalade. It's got the blood orange color to it. Okay. Take that with the clear spirit. What else could you put in that, or would you even have to put anything in that to make that something spectacular? I'm talking to you. I'm sorry, Cheryl.
I'm thinking, no, that's I'm at a little disadvantage because I can't play around with you guys and taste.
Okay, so let me tell you the flavor. This has, it's a thicker texture. You know how, you have marmalade, you have jelly, you have jam, and then you have like the drier, more fruit textured jams. It's like that.
Like
it's like that.
Full fruit.
Yes, it's astringent like the rind of the citrus. It's got the intense flavor, but not overpowering, of the blood orange. And the lavender isn't so much it's a flavor. It's a finishing flavor, though, but you can smell it. And then, but I'm telling you, actually, that just right there shaking with the...
yeah, I think that would be good.
I think it would be good. You might want to put something else in it to
I want to do blood orange moonshine.
Ooh. I think we have a challenge.
Blood orange moonshine, that sounds great. And that, you know what that would be great with? With a rye base. I love orange and rye together.
You know what? That's good because rye has got that kind of, especially the old style rye. It has a kind of astringent heat going down, and then you have the citrus, the orange, that's also kind of astringent but fruity, and it's got that floral notes to it. That would go really well. Okay,
I would try those two. This potato cane sugar tomato one sounds so interesting. I can't even put the flavors together in my mind.
So I'll tell you,
tomato doesn't.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I'm thinking maybe something. Do you remember a month or two ago where we made a puttanesca martini?
I do.
I wonder how that would be if we mix that up with some vodka and a little bit of olive. See, I can't. The cane sugar is making me think sweet, and the tomato's making me think acid.
Here's the funny thing: you realize that's the whore's drink, right?
Exactly.
We're not ready. Yeah, Donna's like, she's a grandma. Everybody, yeah, she didn't slap me in the face. She is the grandmother that everybody wanted. So, but seriously, so it's
we're
spicy.
just translating. We're not making anything up.
No, it is. I mean, it's seriously, and then there's that old adage that goes with it that we know probably isn't true, but it's a bit zesty. It's not spicy so much as zesty. Right, it's got some vinegared products in it. It's got a tiny bit of heat, but it's zesty. And so you take that and using this as the base liqueur or liquor.
Maybe.
I think what we need to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to call Dubs. I'm going to call Sledge Distillery, or go down there and visit and see if we can't get a couple little bottles, and I will discreetly ship you some. Or when you come into town, we can have you mix some spirits up and see what we can't come up with. And we can kind of cross-promote a couple of items, the Jelly Queen's jams and jellies and condiments, your service, and Sledge Distillery and their wonderful spirits. What do you think?
That sounds like a party. And you know me, I'm all in for a party.
Oh, yeah, Okay, hey, let's go real quick. Let's go through what are we drinking Saturday, because I have a question about the other holiday coming, not just Easter, so...
All right. So, Donna, real quick, you and I were on the same wavelength. Again, to some degree, you used the Sledge Distillery. I used Deep Eddies, which is an Austin company, right?
Mm-hmm.
Deep Eddies vodka. So I have their frozen lemon vodka in my freezer all the time.
Oh, that's pretty.
Try in a martini shaker, you got 1.5 ounces of their lemon vodka, 1.5 ounces of the pear brandy. Chef, I like that product a lot, the pear William.
Yes, that's
and
one
then just 1/4 ounce of Saint Germain. You've got an easy, wonderful, beautiful martini, and the secret here is to coat the rim using those hibiscus crystals. Mm-hmm. I think I've talked about them before. Fresh Origins has this line. Isn't that pretty?
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful.
So you get the cold, clean vodka. You get the softness of the pear. The Saint Germain also rounds it out a litof bit, and then you've got these crystals that are all hibiscus. They're dehydrated hibiscus. There's nothing artificial about them. They're all natural. So you got something kind of crunchy, and then you got the drink, and it's cold and it's smooth and it's good.
Yep.
So that's what you might want to drink on Saturday, unless you've got some of that delicious moonshine, which sounds like an awful lot of fun.
Yeah, not too much of the moonshine for me this weekend. How about you, Donna?
No.
She's not really a drinker anyway, but
yeah, I'm not a drinker.
Do you like tasting the jams that incorporate that?
Yes.
Jellies?
Yeah, I mean, almost everything we make has some kind of spirits in it.
Mm-hmm.
The alcohol sugars just make everything pop. So.
Oh, it's good stuff. So here I have a question, because Easter's not the only holiday come up. Passover, Seder dinners, etc. And I've worked in many kosher kitchens. Not going into details, but there's a lot involved in preparing for this holiday for those members of the tribe that do stick to the kosher traditions. Even if you don't stick to kosher traditions, most people. So one of the things is not having any leavening agent in the kitchen, right? So no yeast, anything could have yeast on it, no open boxes of leavened products, and most people, even open products, they are removed from the kitchen, not thrown away, but hidden in a closet, locked and covered, right? No, seriously, I've seen it. Nail up the curtain around the closet below the broom closet below the staircase, everything locked in there, can't go in there for a week or so. With that in mind, we talked about why you did you sent an interesting email. Do you mind talking about? Can I talk about that, Cheryl? Is it okay? Okay.
Sure.
She sent this saying, "Hey, I'm way ahead. I just in case you're wondering why I'm so far ahead this week, because Passover's coming up. I'm trying to prepare the kitchen. I did not know. I mean, we had talked about family traditions and religious beliefs just privately, but I didn't know you keep a kosher kitchen." And for those that don't keep a kosher kitchen, let's really briefly talk about what that entails. Besides. Okay, separate sinks, separate pots and pans, separate refrigeration.
This is even before we're talking Passover. And
no, this is in
different
general.
People have different ways to observe. But the basic difference is you keep all your meat dishes and
dairy
meat pots and pans separate from all your dairy.
Yep.
And you buy food that has the kosher symbol or has gone through some kind of a koshering process. And normally, and I grew up with it, so it's not hard to follow. It's just what I do. But Passover pushes you off the edge because you got to use different dishes, different pots and pans. So the average kosher household, before you're talking about fine china, has everyday meat and everyday dairy, and Passover meat and Passover dairy. Now, if you really like to entertain, then you could have fine china for everyday meat and dairy. And if you're really nuts, then you'd have fine china for every day, for entertaining for Passover too. So you basically need a whole basement just to stock your pots, pans, and dishes.
Well, and so if you have a dual kitchen, right, which is the household I worked in, they always had they had dual everything, right? Pots and pans for non-dairy and pots and pans for So you have all of this, and then you have dual cooking surfaces. I mean, and then you have on top of that you have refrigeration that's separated, but above and beyond all of that, when you misuse one of those pots or pans,
there are different rulings.
Folks, take that personal, can I tell you? So I accidentally used something for dairy that I shouldn't have. Well, let's get this straight. The reason that you don't have dairy with beef specifically, or meat, is that it's the taking of life versus the giving of life. So milk is mother's milk, meat is the taking of life, and so you don't mix you never mix those, right? And there's a whole bunch.
There's also a line in the Old Testament that specifically says, "Don't cook a kid in its mother's milk."
That's right,
and so the sages learn out from that it means that you cook separate. That's an interesting thing. I had never even heard what you just said.
Well, there's some more about that.
About one is giving life, one is taking life. Okay.
So there was this idea that you could maybe just cut the leg off of a lamb and eat that. But you couldn't do that, and so God dictated you had to take the animal's life to eat the animal, so that you understood that you were taking a life of a living, breathing creature. And I'm not trying to get too deep into religious philosophy. It's that's not what I do, but it's very interesting how those laws came about, and that it's a very serious thing. So that when they take an animal's life in a kosher aspect, they use a big scimitar. They have a rabbi run his fingernail down it. He has his long fingernail that runs down the blade to find any nicks. It's long because it feels any vibration in the blade. And then the idea is that you have to relieve the animal of its life without any pain or suffering, which means all the way through.
A more humane slaughtering.
Exactly. And so anyway, so there's all these rules and for that, and it's interesting because they're almost the same as halal. They're actually virtually identical, but you think about it, they were kind of they're kind of logical back then. No seafood because you couldn't refrigerate. See, I mean, no something that crawls backwards, crustaceans. You couldn't refrigerate that, right? There were a lot of rules. Swine, no swine. Why? Well, they all had trichinosis, and cooking, you couldn't tell temperature back then. So, I mean, the laws were logical, and it's a very interesting historical perspective. If you go back, and there are all sorts of writings on this, and pontifications and exploitations, it doesn't really matter. It's very cool and interesting study. For those of you in the culinary arts, I challenge you to learn a little bit about it. It's very interesting, and it's intriguing. Go ahead.
Patrick, how'd you come to work for a kosher family with an absolutely kosher home like that?
Well, I was a very good chef. How's that? They were willing to pay me a lot of money, and I was a good chef, and I understood the laws of kosher cooking. So, not perfectly, but I learned quickly. So,
and speaking of a time to talk religion and religious peace across the board, this is a great weekend. Everybody's happy, everybody's celebrating, everybody's with family. It's all good. I think religion can bring us together rather than divide us. That's what I'd hope. Anyway.
Can I tell the coolest thing, real quick? Donna brought me a pie with the Spoony logo on top. I don't care if she made it. I'm going to say she made it. She brought me a pie. She brought it. It's so cool. I'm going to have to take a picture and post it. Coolest thing I've ever gotten here. Yeah. So, hey, Cheryl, thank you very much. As always, you do a great job.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Yes,
Donna, nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you, too.
So next week when we can, I know we can't pour anything with grain over the weekend, but next week we're going to do some really cool drinks that you have to develop without the grain spirits, which should be fun. And I look forward to that.
And I got to find a good-looking glass from my Passover kitchen, so I'll be on it all week. I'll work on it.
Oh, yeah, come on. There's cool glassware. All right. Hey, have a great weekend. Thank you very much. We'll talk to you next week on Friday.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Sounds good.
All right. Again, Cheryl Richheiser from mixedmetaphors.com. All your mixed beverages needs. All right, Donna, you're still here. We got about 30 seconds left.
30 seconds. Oh, my gosh.
I know, but you can come back anytime. So you're that far, and we're here, and you can call in. That's easier. You don't have to bring food every time. It's okay.
Not every
time. Yeah, because I'm trying to trim down, and I had been losing weight until today.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. Any last words? You have 15 seconds.
I want everybody to come to our May 5th Eat class. So Patrick is going to be a judge. You can find information on the World Food Championships website or on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And we need judges. We need everybody to sign up and learn how to pick the World Food Champions.
It's Cinco de Mayo. We'll have free margaritas, as far as you know, free margaritas and pie. But no, not really. Just come down anyway. Look, thank you very much, folks. Love you very much. Thanks for listening. Chef Patrick Mosher, dessert is done. The fourth course is over. Have a great weekend. Be kind to yourself. We are what you eat.